Hi to anybody who's watching this. We are not going to be RPing tonight. We're not going to be like in character in any form or fashion.
Not wearing a face.
You know, we will not be referring to each other, but you know, by character names. But we're doing what's called milestoning. For those that don't know, there's two thoughts, actually. There's two schools of thoughts about upgrading characters in tabletop is XP versus milestoning. XP is the sort of doled out, handheld, obnoxious, in my opinion, way of doing it just from a GM standpoint. Like, I don't know how players feel about it, but like from a GM standpoint, having to dole out XP for shit is just a pain in the ass to do.
I already got enough shit to keep track of.
Yeah.
Like, Master, I gave up using XP about 9 years ago.
Yeah. It's absurd. Like, if you have a computer to do it for you, that's fine. That's fine. Do your XP that way.
Oh, and mind you, I stopped using it per enemy 10 years ago. Because...
yeah.
Fuck, that's even worse.
I've yet to play a game so far that has used XP. We all use every single one uses milestones. They're way better.
Yeah.
It's like, why, like, playing D&D for as a DM, you're just like, no thank you. Can we just nope.
It's just there's already enough bullshit to deal with in D&D. Hi,
sorry
if you're watching this, if you haven't got the idea that Kai hates D&D as a system yet, just accept that. There'll probably be some criticisms along the way. It's nothing personal. If you love D&D, enjoy it, use it. I'm a theater nerd. I can't stand it. I'm not measuring things in 5-foot squares. Get fucked. And so, but like, you know, so Fate is a milestoning system. If you're unfamiliar, milestoning, we've already done one, but we did it behind the scenes. And so this is a more significant milestone, which literally in Fate terms is the term. It's a significant milestone. There's minor, significant, and major. And so we'll be doing a significant milestone as well as some character discussion, table discussion, mild planning. For those who don't know, Fate is less... There's a lot of stuff that I do behind the scenes, as you've probably seen if you've watched this series. There's stuff that gets sprung on them. There's stuff that absolutely happens. There's a lot of planning behind the scenes, but there's actually a lot of collaborative stuff that you guys don't see as well. It's very much a collaborative story writing exercise. And so these fuckers talk, we talk. There's times that I withdraw from the table and make sure that they have their exclusive discussion time as well. And so, yeah, we're just going to be doing the milestoning. We're going to be talking about like sort of where we've come from, what we're in now, and sort of where some ideas that people have for characters, some story beat ideas that we may want to try, on that sort of thing. Because behind the scenes in Fate, they can create just as much as like I can create at the end of the day. One of the characters creates an aspect for themselves. The next thing you know, there's a whole element in the world that is explorable. And so, yeah. So that's just sort of what we're going to be doing in this session. So minor milestones, let me just read them verbatim. And then if we need to revisit them, we can go back, because the way the milestoning works in Fate is that it's sort of like those stupid premium plans that people try and get you to sign up for, that they're like, this includes everything that the free plan has, plus the premium plus plan has all of the stuff of the tiers below it. So significant has the options of the minor milestones, and major has the options of the significant and minor plus its own as well. Right, and that's sort of how the milestoning works. So milestoning, minor milestoning, you get to choose one of these, all right? So you get to switch the rank of any two skills or replace a +1 skill with one that isn't on your sheet. So take your choice. You can swap two skills, or you can add a new +1 in if you want. You can change any single stunt for another stunt, or you can purchase a new stunt if you want to spend a refresh. we'll discuss this a little further into this session. These guys really don't utilize the fate point economy, and I know they have some opinions on that moving forward. And so, like, but they get 3 fate points at the beginning of every session, no matter what, and they could draw down to 2 or 1 if they wanted to buy more stunts to do that with. A stunt would be a perfect example of somebody who's not here right now. When you see Dalton pull a new car, that's an inbuilt stunt in his character sheet. Or you can rename one character aspect that isn't your high concept. So switch some skills out, or get a new +1, get a new stunt, change a stunt for another one, or rename an aspect that isn't your high concept. Now, your significant, you get to do this in addition to any of those that you pick one of, right? So you get both of these at a significant milestone. So you're going to get 3 things to do, one of the minors and then both of these significants. You get an additional skill point. You can spend that. The way the pyramid works, though, you're only going to be able to spend it on, I think at present, let me go look at your character sheets really quickly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you'll be able to bump a 2 up to a 3. Yeah, so you'll be able to push any of your 2s up to a 3, or a 1 up to a 2, or get a new 1. So you get an additional skill point. Yes, Wordy.
So I know with my cybernetic eyes, it's the medical scans are primarily investigation role, right?
I mean, that's narratively, it's an investigate.
Okay, cool. I was just thinking I don't have notice or investigation, so I was thinking about like bumping that up.
Fair play. I don't think any of you have severe consequences at this moment?
I have a moderate consequence.
Okay, so this doesn't affect you. Krill, I don't think you have a severe consequence on your sheet though, right, Karina?
No, just Krill is like on brink of collapse.
Yeah, but it's not an on-sheet severe consequence, because if you had
you force me to hold on to that can heal, like it is a narrative consequence.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you could rename it and begin a recovery process automatically at a significant milestone if you had a severe. And so like yeah, you could shed that like at this moment sort of situation. So functionally speaking, you can switch any point values if you want. Like that's your minor. You could switch, like you could take a 3 and a 4 and swap them if you want to option that as your minor milestone. Or you can take a point and get a new 1. Like if you wanted to just buy a new skill point, a new skill, you could buy that in that. But again, that's a choice. You don't.
I wanted to discuss narrative swap. Basically, if your character has not used this skill that you thought in episode 1 they would, and narratively it seems like this just doesn't come up and really isn't on the place, what about swapping those out?
What skill?
For one, contacts.
Okay.
Krill does not have people. She doesn't really associate with people much. Swain was more of an antagonist than a contact.
Okay, so what do you think about swapping it into?
We were discussing, like I wanted to discuss a floating thing that would only activate once she is in her new body, but 1 point into athletics. Okay.
Then we can hold on to that. And just reserve that point for you. I'm comfortable doing that as a GM. That use your minor milestone option to do a skill swap, and then if you want to use your if you want to use your significant to affect something else, like I said, you 2 up to a 3, or a 1 up to a 2, or a new 1 for yourself.
I feel like I might tick her stealth up from a 2 to a 3.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to come to play more soon.
Okay, so yeah, we will Like we'll discuss this, we'll do this, and then we'll have to go back through at the end, and I will update all my sheets, and we will be going through your aspects, we will be going through your stunts, we will go through your gear, we will go through your skill points, because I need to get all of my stuff up to parity with you guys.
Understood.
So
I'm gonna write down notes too. For everything that happens.
any other questions about what what you get to do as your milestoning?
Not milestone, but I had a question. Back like a lot of episodes ago,
Okay.
Patty bought a couple things of alcohol, and her wealth ticked down from 3 to 2. And I was wanting to ask: does that thing refresh, or is it stay 2?
It refreshes narratively.
Okay.
So your general wealth is sort of set at the level that it's okay. So your wealth level is set functionally in this campaign, sort of equivalent to your class, and not like a D&D class, but a socioeconomic class, right? And so if you've done something to earn more money, if you've gotten more creds in, then you can refresh that back up.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense, because I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but she hasn't gotten any response back with her whole trying to get connections thing yet. So stays at 2.
I mean, have you tried to do an online job posting like in 2023?
Yeah.
imagine.
I mean, applying for internships is the worst experience in the world.
Yeah, imagine what it looks like in the future, with like fucking 40 million people around you. Dystopia. So, okay. Caboose, questions?
No, you said we were going to go over aspects today, so.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
Is
you have
changing an aspect considered a minor or a significant, or that its own thing?
that's an option for a minor.
Option for a minor. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to change, if you want to rename one character aspect that is not high concept, that's when you can take a crack at that. So if you want to option your minor milestone to rename an aspect, you can do that. I mean, theoretically, Krill, you could use, Karina, you could use for Krill the minor to rename an aspect, and then use the significant to bump up investigate and put points there. Or I'll let you, but like, yeah, you basically, you have two things to do here. You've got 2 points to spend, functionally speaking.
Got it. No, I see.
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah. Maybe we'll leave context alone for now, and we'll find.
I
another
mean,
way
to be
bring it
fair,
in.
you've used it more than just Swain in the iterates of you went online to online forum and found out about the immediate, like, you got an immediate reply using that method of what happens if we blow up a substation in NSF.
You know what? I never considered contacts could be just very forum ready, like someone who can just get info. No, that's fine. Actually, you know what? That is a good enough argument to keep.
You also contacted, I think, your fixer.
Krill didn't have a fixer. Krill had a scrap dude that would sell her shit. She got a anonymous person to give her that last job. She had no idea who they were.
Okay, cool. I was just saying, if that's another person, then
Yeah.
Okay, then I feel like your tech likes me better needs to get swapped.
Okay.
I feel like it should be much more like my tech is my plaything, or something more.
Well, okay, so now that you know which one you want to play with, right, we'll work on how to play with it, right?
Absolutely.
Aspen?
I was thinking of bumping investigate a little higher.
Okay.
Again, because Karen doesn't see anything, and I'm really tired of that.
Which is really important for somebody in her position, right? She needs to be able to look into something.
That or swap, but
I mean, theoretically, you've got nothing in notice. You could put 1 in notice and bump up investigate to 2.
Wait, can you do two
Yeah.
things?
You've got your minor milestone. You've got a point to spend there. You can buy a new skill for 1 point on your minor, and your significant can take anything from a 2 up to a 3, or a 1 up to a 2, or buy you a new one.
Got it. Cool.
So you functionally got 2 points to spend there. And so, yeah,
Karen-
you could get yourself
sorry, go
a notice and to an investigate.
Karen also does use empathy, not the same way that Patty does. She's much more like trying to figure out how to fuck with people into their core.
Yeah.
So that's also
how to
something
read
consider.
people, like that's something Karen needs to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that you, as a player, are playing. We talked about this earlier. Sorry, not everything gets to be in front of the camera, but we did talk about this earlier. That there are 2 different games happening at the table, and you are one of the narrative RP games, and so there's a lot that is accomplished with Karen that is not rolled for. Right. And so the things that are representative of like the deception, the empathy, that sort of thing is not necessarily you may want to like, I mean, I hate that I'm even encouraging it, but I am going to, like, because this is just like you may want to consider min-maxing here and go the route you're already considering going, because if you put a point in there, you're already accomplishing that task with your RP.
Yeah.
Rather than, explicit mechanics rolls. So it would, save you, get you the stuff you want, which is explicit roles that you do actually perform on a regular basis when you're trying to do that stuff. Whereas your deception and your empathetic roles, you're doing narratively in RP on a regular.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I agree.
No, that's fair. Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So, all right. So I think you kind of have an idea of where and how you want a milestone. Do we need to? Okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody's doing aspect changes, okay, Krill's gonna do.
Put your hand up if you're doing an aspect change.
Okay, Karina and Caboose are going to be doing aspect changes. It looks like our two bitches are going to be doing point spending. All right. All right. So
Bitches for life.
Feels about right.
yeah. They're going to go spend some money.
Can go shop.
And so if anybody's watching, I meant bitches by character. All right? Not female. They are both bitches.
Excuse you. I also
Proud
have
of
a
it.
bitch in real life.
Presenting people are on either side of this table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
There.
see, where Karen goes shopping for clothes, like Patty is like looking at the line of different liquors, and she's like, "Okay, here's my investigate, here's my empathy," and she's just looking at all the bottles.
Oh, this is provoke. It's Jaeger. Good. Okay. So,
Troy are in a
Fireball.
mirror shop.
who needs out of Caboose and Karina? Which one of you thinks that like you'd like a little more time to think about how you want to like rework your aspect? And I'll start with the other one.
Yeah, I feel like I need to
Cool.
tone it around a bit.
All right, cool. Caboose, what are you thinking?
Well, since the net running stuff has been kind of very dice ruley compared to like Karen's more narrative based stuff.
Okay.
And after reading through the rules a little bit more thoroughly yesterday, I kind of think I'm interested in starting to take advantage of the fate point system.
You'll actually engage in the economy, huh?
Yeah, I kind of want to start trying with that now.
Okay. So, what are you thinking?
Well, I can't change the high concept.
Nope.
Which is fine. I originally was thinking about adding one, but I didn't realize we're gonna have a minor one. I can't add an aspect on a minor milestone, right?
No, you cannot.
Well,
I will. You know what? If you're not going to use anything from your minor, I'll count that rename as adding a new one, because technically Fate allows a qualifier for adding aspects at any time.
well, I was thinking,
Traditionally they're earned.
right.
Like narratively in game, it's like, oh shit, that's now a thing you do, sort of thing, right? Like that's usually how aspects are gained in game. But like,
Rajika's aspect
yes,
of Patty's his bitch.
like yeah, I will 100% let you milestone in an aspect if you want, if you're not looking to spend anywhere.
Well, it's funny you mention the narrative thing. So the last milestone, we changed Yes Man, which was an aspect that Troy has to follow every order, to orders are really just suggestion. However, in the last few sessions, even that itself hasn't really come into any kind of play. Troy's gotten a lot more.
You even managed to break core programming directives.
Yeah, we had that narrative.
For the first time, you saw Jiku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're starting on that, and I think we can, if adding an aspect's too much to ask for, I'm happy to just completely get rid of that aspect.
Well, see,
and rename it something else.
that already, like, you can that is literally a minor milestone by default. Like in-game rules, you can rename an aspect, and if you've got your eye on that one and you want to rename it to something, like, it doesn't have to be like sort of like the progressive, like, you know, yes man to orders, or some are really just a suggestion to, well, sometime if you want to just rename that aspect, you can do that.
Yeah, I think that fits in the whole thematics of we're starting to humanize Troy a little bit now.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
Well, so my original thought was renaming it to I am of the digital realm. But after reading through the rules, that almost sounds like that would be a better thing for, like, somewhere way down the line, that we change that to as high concept.
I'm comfortable using it as a core, as like one of the baseline aspects.
All right.
Oh God. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Yes. Okay. So aspect naming is one of these, like, it is a writer's art, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is like, if you go through for like Fate examples and stuff like that and see how people name aspects, you merely adopted the net.
Ooh, that's a good high concept, though.
Except you weren't like that.
Yeah.
Isn't your high concept. Like, that's your high concept is still that you still reference the sexual position manual on a regular. You're full of innuendo. We still are dealing with, like, the weird fucked up nature of what Troy is. So a former sex bot whose circuits got fucked too is still very much an appropriate high concept for you.
Yeah, okay, so, oh man, that's a really good one, is you merely adopted the net.
So funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, I think I like the name of that one a little bit better.
Okay. I have officially changed that, but we will go through, like I said, all of this. We will be going through your character sheets sort of top to bottom, so I make sure we're in parity. And also people get to sort of, that sort of thing.
So your new aspect is I'm of the digital realm?
No, that was, his new aspect is called You Merely Adopted the Net.
Okay, that makes sense. Kai, I have a curious question. So now that Karen and Patty have kind of gotten their whole vibe worked out, Patty is like much more like listening to Karen. My thought process was like incorporating like a negative aspect against Patty over like, and that Karen could invoke or other people can invoke in reference to Karen in terms of like, hey, you need to listen to me, Patty, blah 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 blah. Like in situations.
Okay, so just so nobody listening ever gets confused, if anybody does actually uses the guide, that would be a compel. Invocations are self, compels are external. But besides that prescriptive language change, there, I mean, any and all of yours absolutely could be. What are you thinking?
Basically, I want Karen to start being able to command more influence.
But
over Patty.
What aspect are you thinking to like engage in here that you think, because aspects aren't predictive, they're descriptive. Right? And so like while that transition has maybe begun, right?
Yeah.
Patty definitely doesn't show deference to Karen.
Yeah.
Like
definitely not.
Yeah,
but
so
that's something I'm starting to consider. Based on like the shift in the dynamic.
What I would counsel you to do then is to start acting that character that way and start like sort of figuring out how that process occurs internally and externally and manifesting that at the table. And then when that manifests enough, eventually we land ourselves in a location where you can absolutely just ascribe that aspect to Patty. Like I said, if you've got blank aspects on your sheet, realistically, you can add those aspects as they occur. Now, like you've just seen, getting rid of or renaming an aspect requires a milestoning event. And so you better be sure you want that as an aspect, because you're going to be stuck with it. And then also, you know, if I feel like being a dick or anybody else at the table feels like being a dick, they absolutely can compel those. Right? So always remember, compels can come from the table as well as from behind the GM screen. And so like, yeah, like that's, once you choose it, you're going to be stuck with it for a while. But if it exists in the character, if it exists in the narrative, if it exists, because remember what I said at the very beginning before any of you even played this type of game, was we are all slaves to the narrative. That is what comes first, foremost, and is always the primary. If it doesn't exist in the narrative, then functionally for us, it doesn't exist. And so like that doesn't exist in the narrative yet. And so it really doesn't belong as an aspect on Patty's character sheet yet.
That's fair.
Manifest it.
Something I was considering.
Yeah, manifest it. Like start planning what does that look like internally for Patty? And you've definitely got some plans coming up that, you know, that tumultuous period could definitely lead into a sort of recognition of that sort of thing, right? There's definitely internal stuff that Patty could be going through that could lead to externalities where all of a sudden you're like, wait, what the fuck was that? Like, you know, it's like, you know, if Karen says do something and all of a sudden Patty like does it, it's like, wait, she got like no pushback on that. What happened? Right? That sort of thing. Like when that starts manifesting at the table enough that it could be considered a character aspect, you know,
like bringing up the cell phone or any of the things that you've been deceptive about. Karen could just start bringing up, oh, you remember that cell phone that you had? Remember that? Remember how that was fucky?
I don't know how much you'd like to reveal, but it definitely would be coherent within the previous iterations of Patty as to taking an order, recognizing a structured hierarchy, right? This is absolutely in Patty's past. Like Patty so like, you know, if Patty finds her way back to some of that and sees Karen as the leader of the group, and stops challenging her for that position, right? And like just accepts the command, then yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's an aspect in there somewhere for, I know how to follow an order, or, you know, whatever. Like we'll you know, punch it up when it happens.
Well, basically, like our first kind of portion that we've gone through, Patty's been in very much having to figure out how to play well with others a little bit more than she has. So it's been like the external dynamics that she's had, but I've been wanting to start focusing more on the internal mechanisms and the dynamics within herself. That's where my interest narratively is. So one aspect of that potentially is Karen. And that's ideas and thought floating through my head.
Yeah. So yeah, you need to put that out at the table. That needs to happen through Patty. And once that starts happening through Patty, then the aspect comes. So, something to think about, just as an actor. Right? Like that's, you know, as actors at a table, we all have to, you just make the choices, right? Like what's the motivation? What's the causal effects? What's that look like in my process? And once that comes out at the table enough that it becomes a pattern, that it becomes intrinsic to the character, bam, you have an aspect.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Yep. That's why a lot of like first time, like if you guys were like, if we set this table up, like we finish this campaign and we set up a new campaign, at the beginning of this, when I counseled you guys on like creating your character sheets, you know, high concept, trouble, maybe a first aspect if you're feeling ambitious, right? And this is why, because those are character traits that you have to act, right? And so if you fill out a character sheet for a fate character, every single one of those aspects are elements of your character that you need now present at the table. Those are RP elements that you need to embody. And so it's easier for a first timer to just like maybe have one and then fill out the rest as you go, as you figure your character out. But veterans have been known to like leave one slot or no slots and just, it's a fully formed character. I'll be playing this character at this table and we're good. Like, we'll see how this plays out, right?
Yeah, not every personality trait needs to be an aspect in any way, shape, or form.
No. And especially aspects, when they're well written, encompass 3, 4, 5 skills. Right? They're absolutely representative of a larger entity unto themselves anyway. So, yeah. Okay. Karina, you've had some time. Ideas? What are you thinking?
There's so many quotes on creation, like biblical, poetic. Jesus, I am flooded in them. But genuinely, the one that just keeps coming back to mind is, I am creation.
Okay.
Grill's entire embodiment is to make more.
She's definitely demonstrated a willingness to, how about I wish to be creation? Because it seems aspirational.
Yes.
She's not quite there yet, but she's definitely like taken the first steps, as it were, right? Those steps happened over a period of time, but she's taken those first steps. Oh God. It's too long for an aspect, but man, I like the writing of it. You may be death, destroyer of worlds, but I am creation.
Ooh. You destroy, I create.
That's kind of interesting.
Not as poetic, but it gets there, and it's the point,
Yeah.
right? It's short, it's snappy, it encompasses it, and but the only reason I would counsel against this is Krill definitely has a destructive streak.
She does.
She likes to build things that destroy.
Yeah, no, as the player, I do want to twist that out of her because I find it more of an interesting starting point than it is as a full-fleshed character having this goblin who likes bombs so much. Like, it's very much so a very shallow trait of hers. But... Or what if it is, I am destruction and creation?
I am the creator of destruction?
Krill's end goal isn't to destroy more.
Is Vishnu the creator and destroyer, or is that Shiva? It's Shiva, right?
I think it was Shiva, yeah.
Shiva's the destruction and the alpha and the omega, right?
Yeah, because I think it was Shiva that Oppenheimer was.
Okay.
Do you remember,
Yes,
the scene from Sandman where it's Lucifer and Sandman having that word argument?
I would have had to have seen that to remember.
Basically, they're trying to one up each other in terms of words, and she goes, "I am an ant. I am a bird," and it keeps going until eventually they get to the point, "I am death. I am the consumer of all things," and then he goes, "I am hope." And so that's the vibe I'm getting from this right now.
I walk the path of creation.
I am the hands of Shiva.
Ooh. That's spoopy as heck.
That allows you creation and destruction as per your whim. And poetic as fuck. which I have a propensity for aspects. I really do like a tight aspect that fucking you're just like, oh. I know you hear it and you know immediately. You're like, oh, that means a lot. Because an aspect should mean a lot.
Yep. I am the hands of Shiva. And then in brackets I have destruction and creation.
Okay, so...
and protection.
If there was a god equivalent of it in the Polynesian cultures... that would be even better, because that's kind of what I headcanon Krill was before all the experiments, but...
Well, if anybody wants to research that. So, are you adding that, or are you renaming one?
The only canon thing about it is she was brown. Like, that sounds really bad, but the only canon thing about her skin tone was before all the experiments, she was brown.
As an aspect, are you renaming, or are you adding?
Renaming.
Which one? Your tech?
Your tech likes me better is now, I am the hands of Shiva.
That second one doesn't work anymore, really.
Soon. That one was specifically meant to get deleted one day. That's, like, it's got bracket deficiency on my page. I don't know if it has it for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a positive trait to her. It's just supposed to be like, someone might have difficulty doing an empathy check on her.
Yeah, because, like, coming up soon, you're going to have expressions.
Mm-hmm. Krill's gonna have a lot of expressions.
Yeah, I imagine some wild... well, you learn to regain control of some of that.
Oh my god! Oh, my face moves when I talk. What is this? Oh, it feels gross. Are these teeth?
I'm willing to... We'll hold on to that. And I think the best way to, like, work that off your sheet is to literally just work that off your sheet, is to start with a sort of, like, the way I would do it, and again, anything I say is always pure suggestion, but, like, the way I would do it is have a break-in period where you're, like, overly expressive sort of thing, and then once you gain the grasp of it, right, that you go back to, like, poker face. Because now you have robotic control over your face, like your expression, you like, and because you're used to not doing it sort of thing, and you're just sort of dead faced, right? And then it's a matter of learning to actually express yourself again. So you have that like peak of activity back down to her comfort zone, and then up.
Controlled, gain slight control, even out.
Yes. And so like, yeah, because she's going to have to learn how to be human again. So to some extent or another, she's going to like, you know,
Yes.
I know what your plans are, but she's going to have some level of adjustment back to some semblance of tech that is in her control, at least.
People aren't going to talk to her like she's a fucking drone.
Yeah.
So like, she's going to have to actually, oh, you're talking to me. You don't want to talk to them?
Yeah. So
Me. Oh, okay.
all right. So, okay, we'll do that. Those are our two aspect changes. I think we're good there. Would have been better, so I don't have to do this again later. Fucking okay. So the Polynesians apparently have two different gods of creation and destruction coming in from Spectator. So. Yeah.
Sadly, yeah. We're gonna, you know what? Since she is, like I said, the only canon about her was brown. There's no issue with her being of Indian descent either. I'm never doing an accent because Krill doesn't have an accent. Even if she was born in this freaking city, she doesn't have an accent. She's not a poo.
Okay. So then I also, Jesus, I'm going to have to, I got to alter all my stuff and pull Jacob out from my formats.
That's something we need to figure out is like,
We have Jiku in its place.
No, you can't have Jigu.
Damn.
I'm sorry, but Patty would never want to work with Jigu.
Also, his stats exist in a quantum superposition. So
They don't exist until they're perceived.
yes. So ultimately that doesn't work.
We have established he has superhuman speed.
Yes,
at least
he
reflexes
does.
of some kind.
He does.
Or if it's a +4 in stealth, or burglary, but it's somewhere around there.
Jigu is as good at or as bad at something as he wishes to be.
Better yet,
I
as
love
Kai
that
wishes
kid.
him to be.
So yeah, I'll have to pull Jacob, but I may blank him out and just keep the slots actually in my templates. Just for future proofing in case we do make that decision. For those that don't know and like aren't like, you know, paying attention to the fucking tiers and the fucking storyline from session 20, Cat Jacob will not be in future episodes. He's going to be traveling and going around the globe and relocating and stuff. So he is drawing down. But we will discuss sometime many sessions, months in the future, if there's room for, and if we wanted to do that as a group at that point, then I've already stated like explicitly, unironically, we will table read somebody. Like that is exactly how that will go down. So we will table read somebody who wants in, and like if we choose, you guys may finally figure out your fucking team format here. Who knows? You end up with a tight team and you figure it out and you get rolling and you're like, yeah, you know what? We don't want an extra leg, right? That's gonna screw us up. That'll trip us up. That's adjustment.
One more mouth to feed. Why do we need that?
Exactly. So that's up to us, future us's. But
We
yeah,
don't need his ass getting a fucking concussion and being
yeah,
locked for episodes.
yeah. So
Anyone who's played D&D with an oversized party, it's just eventually becomes frustration as you're sitting there waiting for your eventual turn.
yeah.
I've DM'd for 6 people. It's not fun.
I for the most part, I like to think I kept a decent, because I can do camera cuts. Like
You can.
that's the one, like, Fate like narratively works like TV, movies, and books, And so we can absolutely, and I'm a big fan of using the camera movement descriptions because that gives you to cheat in storytelling. Like, you know, what's going on over here while this is happening over here. And it just allows me to pull away from a story suddenly. Right.
And to be fair, usually give us a heads up if it's going to be a heavy episode on person.
I do. Yeah. I try and like, by the way, Caboose is going to be hacking.
Your emotions are going to get kicked in as a heads up.
You know, I try.
Not usually emotions, but usually camera view.
Yeah, if somebody's going to be like a big portion, but yeah, no, I try not to, because the emotions, that's what I'm trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
But
remembers null mage.
Well, Ty, you can make plenty room for 6 people. I think as players, it is harder to make room for each other when there's so many.
Yeah, I think you know, we'll see. Like, I mean, I think one of the first. Sorry, cat. But like, you know, we hit that fucking stride. I think on episode 6 when Karen and I got to have Requiem and Karen got to have their scene together, and that's when it started to like flow tightly.
Yeah, that was 14 episodes ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 6 or something like that.
Jesus Christ, that was so long ago.
Family, yeah, 6.
You're right, that was the first episode we demanded a name to.
Yeah,
that was the first episode we demanded a name because our characters had done so much. With Karen addressing Jiku's family and all of that, and then the party bonding over Troy. Like, hey, do you know you are a person?
Yep. And 5 still isn't named. I'll be naming it after I finish the highlights for it. But everything else is named. I back named 4, 2, and 1. Yeah. So, all right. Okay, then let's start actually letting me firm up some of my stuff here. Move you up there. Fucking, I need a 5th monitor.
Are we doing the moderate milestone?
You mean minor?
No. The significant is it's minor, significant, and major.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of bothers me. Why is it called
minor, moderate, major? Right?
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But I try and, at least for the purposes of the language, stick to as it's written. When I do option from it, sort of a situation. That way, like, anybody who, you know, does like find it, watch it, and like, oh yeah, I kind of want to try this. Wait, what's this fucking thing they're using called?
Yeah.
Right.
I just say moderate, and you just have the hyphen. Significant.
Significant. A little blurb on you every time. Significant. All right. So yes. The minor. Again. Okay. So aspect renames for the 2. Take your minor milestone. Your significant milestone is a point to spend on skills on anything that is 2 or below. So 0, 1, 2 sort of situation. So you could buy a new one, bump a 1 to a 2, a 2 to a 3. The same goes for Aspen and Wordy, except you're going to be spending points, I think, in both categories, minor and significant. Okay, so let us go to Karen. Karen, what are you looking at for your skill spread?
I have provoke, crafts, burglary, resources, and notice at 1.
Okay, hold on. If that's how we're gonna do it, okay. Burglary, crafts. I have investigate, provoke, and resources, because you spent your last milestone on investigate. You have a point in investigate.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
In my head, I already bumped that up.
Okay, so 2. That's now a 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell you what. I think I'm on parity with what they were. So just tell me your changes.
Yeah. Getting a 1 in notice and moving investigate from a 1 to a 2.
Okay, so give me a second because I have a color-coded chart. And that means I need to... all right, that means I need to copy colors, and then once I do this, it'll be faster once I have my hex codes plugged in. All right, so... and then... and you go from red over to yellow. Okay, so a +1 to notice and a +2 to investigate now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just save that. Wordy, what you got?
Just a quick refresher question. What the fuck does will mean again as a skill?
Will is functionally overcoming things. Whether you're...
power.
Yeah, whether you're like, if somebody is trying to influence your decision making, will is an easy way to overcome that. If someone is trying to provoke you, will is another way to overcome that sort of thing.
You know, it's good to know that Patty actually has that. Okay, so I was thinking I know we've been relying on the comedic bits of Patty driving, but she's done so much of it and driven behind the wheel so much. Do we think, like, I'm asking this as a group question, do you think it would be worth upgrading Patty to a drive to a 2?
How do I say this bluntly? Patty's shit at driving, and nowhere on the table has that improved yet.
That's fair. I was just curious.
Yeah.
You know.
A source of comedy, actually, at this point.
Yeah. Well, I know that's what we've been relying on.
Just,
so I was just asking.
just so you know, the way the core book describes will is it is the equivalent of physique to your physical fortitude. So
Gotcha.
will is functionally your mental fortitude, which is fairly representative of the stunt that you have put it in the backpack, right? The ability to compartmentalize that hard in the middle of and still have like PTSD and shit like that, but still be able to shut it all down because you demand it, sort of thing, is pretty representative of a strong mental will, even though it fails at other times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, it's basically physique, but for your brainsies.
Could you come back to me? I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, no worries.
Deciding.
Okay, so then let's, any volunteers? I don't want to put anybody in the spot.
I mean,
No, go ahead.
Aspen's like, oh, I'll volunteer for the thing I already did. So yeah, it'd be Caboose or Karina.
Say we already did the aspect changes.
Correct. We did the aspect, so you have a point to spend.
Oh.
The minor milestone gets you stuff to do, and then the significant milestone gets you stuff to do. Functionally, it's 2 points to spend, but you can do an aspect change at the minor as well. So you get to change an aspect and spend a point. So Karina?
Significant, I would like to, because Krill does use it the most, and you're probably right in that. She hasn't really used stealth much. Investigate from 2 to a 3.
Okay. Look at you moving up in the world. All right. That's my limeish, pastelish green color. Well, those wondering why I'm talking about colors, I have a chart. It's a cheat sheet chart that I have that is a quick glance on my side screen. That's just a, rather than a full character sheet for all these fuckers, I can just skill point. What is it? All right. So we now have you as a +3 notice and a +3 investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Krill is the eyes and ears. And the nose, because for anyone who doesn't know, for some reason I've decided those big-ass tendrils are her nostrils, and yeah, in earlier episodes we even made note, when everyone went, oh god, it smells like shit in here, she had a full-on panic attack, because it's all she could smell.
And then let me block out his entire column,
Be very interesting living in NSF.
Oh yeah, no. Krill, there's something beautiful that Krill actually enjoys, the like scrungy dirtiness of it. Because if she didn't, oh my god, she would not be able to exist. She'd be like aerosol spraying every fucking room she walked into.
I'm never leaving my home.
Well, luckily for Patty, you can just take a quick jug, cut out the sinuses. You can't smell shit. Problem solved.
Okay.
How many times has she smelled someone shit themselves as they're dying?
Caboose, ideas?
Well, I'm thinking I should add will. I'm just not sure what I want to sacrifice.
I'm thinking you should add fight.
I already have fight.
Uh-huh.
You thinking, oh, fight actually has come in handy. Duh. That's a good idea.
Still count.
Because fight translates into...
yeah, in the net running.
Yeah.
All right, can I move fight up to 2 then?
You absolutely can.
And can I put where fight was will?
Oh, you're talking about a swap.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No?
Your minor milestone was renaming the aspect.
All right.
Your significant milestone is getting a point to spend.
So yeah, I'm gonna move fight up to 2.
Okay.
But you're
And
turning
remember, sorry, I was just gonna say, and remember in Fate, skills are not fully universal. Krill has crafting rolls. That does not mean she can do open heart surgery on anyone.
And vice versa. Patty has a fairly high crafting as well. She has a +3 to crafting, but it doesn't mean she can build a firearm. It means that she can stitch a motherfucker up when they're bleeding out.
Yeah.
She did learn how to pull a firearm apart and put it back together.
Look at you, learning.
So,
But
I could also
yes.
say that goes under the shoot skill too, being at least know how to maintain your weapon.
Yeah, but they are narratively applied skills.
Yes.
How many
so
times
what
have
takes
I
if I moved fight from 1 to 2? What takes the place of where fight was?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So
You
it's just gonna be empty.
One slot.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, now
Oh,
I have
okay.
one slot, so you can use a minor next time to add a skill if you wanted.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah. So like, I had provoke at +1, and then I put it up to +2 last time, and then I had a space open, and then now I just put investigate there.
Okay, so Patty, what are we doing for you?
I'm thinking provoke from 2 to 3
Okay.
because she's being very instigatory, and I think based on how she acts with other people, she sets them off because she's like very aggressive as a person.
Okay. Provoke it is.
Yeah.
Bumped
And I
it.
think, Karen, we need to start using my stunt more good cop, bad cop, because I don't remember what we called it, Kai, but I'm calling it good cop, bad cop. I spend a fate point and I piss someone off so Karen can come in and chill them out.
It is. Oh, yeah, I don't have it. Like, we'll have to. Like, again, this is about me. This is part of me bringing my fucking parts of. I always keep your skill points up to date tightly. But your character sheets, I let fall behind a couple versions because it's just the way it goes. But we will do that.
I've been keeping up to date on my character sheet.
We will. Good. That's it. Fucking you have to.
Your job.
So
Remember it? It's fine.
yeah. So like, yeah, I will do that here shortly. Let me.
Yeah, just to basically describe it again. I spend a fate point, and on a successful provoke roll, I give a +2 to a fellow player's deceit or rapport roll. So basically, Patty can come in and like, she's coming in real aggressive and says, "Hey man, I'm gonna break your fucking nose if you don't start fucking talking to me." And then Karen can come in right on the right and be like, "Hey, whoa."
Let's do that.
Now, the only problem is I haven't been as able to use that because she's been taking care of Jacob for so long. So now that she's a little freed up and her medical people she has to take care of, she can start doing more shit.
Okay, so let me. We're doing this live. I'm getting my cheat sheet cutout made as well. So we'll just do this as we do it. Where's my fucking... There it is. And now scroll. And boom. All right, crop that. All right, new character sheet done. Or skill spread done. Fate. Sees. Boom. Sorry, whoever just got to hear that. But it is the way it is as I replace things.
It is what it is.
All right, so here is your new skill spread. Actually, I'll put it in character stuff where I believe it belongs. So if you want to review the new skill spreadsheet and make sure everything's intact the way it should be, you know, you're typing in spectator, just so you know, Karina. And we will, okay, now I can close this, and we will go on to the character sheets, cheat sheet that I have. I'll cut him out manually. All right. Top two, just for cutting them out. Karen. I'm just gonna go down the list as I have it. I have a thief finds an entrance. A grifter makes an entrance as your high concept, right?
Yep.
Okay. Trouble. Oh, I thought that was mine.
Yep.
Aspect 1, I know how to take care of me. Okay. Any aspects been added since?
Nope.
Cool. Stunt 1, let me talk to your manager. Confidence will get you everything. Sub rapport for stealth. Any other stunts that I should know about? Okay. Gear, I have a quick change kit in case you need to change clothes. All right. Karen, always my easiest to deal with. So it's at your like last. That's the baby of the family. It's the last child, or they can do no wrong. It's like, oh, Karen, they're a fucking nightmare. They steal everything. They manipulate everything. No, they're perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Harmless.
Yes. Okay, Krill. I've got mechanical marvel, medical monstrosity as a high concept.
Yep.
I've got not my body, not my choice as my trouble.
Staying that one perfectly.
Okay. I have the first aspect having been renamed to I am the hands of Shiva.
Correct.
And I have aspect 2 as a permanent poker face. Brackets.
Deficiency.
Parentheses. Deficiency. All right. I have an efficiency protocol for your stunt 1.
Correct.
Okay. Once per session, Krill can expend all 3 charges to launch all drones. For those that don't know, they have a gear slot for a cyber heart, so they can't overuse their augments. 2, like the knight, when in cover and not already detected, add +2 to notice checks.
I have it listed as silent deployment, but oh, wait a second. But yeah, it's like if I'm already in cover and stealthed. Sorry, actually, can you send it to me? I think I've lost a file here.
Okay, here. This is what I have in.
I thought we did change it to silent deployment.
Okay.
The name, yes, but Kai had the proper description.
Okay. So silent deployment, renamed.
Cover not already detected. Add +2 to notice checks. Yep.
Okay. I have a last stand stunt here as well.
We did erase that.
Okay.
That was developed from episode 3, and it so far never came back up. And we agreed in like episode 9 or something to just wipe it away.
Okay, so I have different. My cursor on your screen. Okay, so I have different names.
Yes, you do. Those were developed before the character was on the table, and the party started naming the drones for me.
Okay.
So.
Renamed. Got it. And
Snips, tricks.
that I already have. Okay, I have Snips.
The beginning of Snips has changed because we now have actually made it in universe that was actually one of Krill's designs.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Besides that, I've got 2 for physical, 2 for mental, 3 for wealth. So.
Okay. Yeah, I should check that. Karen, 3 physical, 3 mental, 3 wealth.
Yes.
Cool. All right, Troy. Former sex bot whose circuits got fucked too.
Yep.
Not quite a real boy for trouble.
Yep.
You merely adopted the net.
Yep.
Appearance sliders. Once per game. Game session can modify body.
Yep.
Physical access. If Troy can physically access the device, +2 to hacking.
Yep.
And gear built-in data jacks.
Yep.
Anything else?
I've added for gear number 2 a cheap prom suit and a waterproof beanie. And I've also added in gear 3 the encrypted comms device that Patty gave Troy.
Okay.
Did you ever add the +2 for that hacking?
We did, and I think we still failed.
Yeah, it was like a hack 10 rate, I think.
Okay, so I don't need to care about those. Don't even technically occupy gear slots.
Okay.
Yeah, your codexes are just inventory as far as I'm concerned. And definitely your cheap prom suit and your waterproof beanie are as well.
All right.
So
The gears for the important stuff, like the really significant tools.
Pate. High concept. I used to work for MedTech. I was good at my job.
Yep.
Trouble. I may have burned a few bridges.
Yep.
Aspect 1, I kept my MedTech gear and it's pretty good.
Yep.
Stunt 1, put it in the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Once per session, when taking mental stress, any potential consequences are held till end of scene.
Roger.
Gear 1, 2 cybernetic eyes.
It's you second stun.
Oh,
The
okay.
one that we talked about last time. It's
Okay, yeah. What did we call that?
I'm calling it good cop, bad cop. Do you think that's fine? Or do you
Yep,
think
that's fine.
Alright.
The naming of stunts I find less important than aspects.
Spend a fate point, and on a successful provoke roll, I'll just write it down. I'll type it down for you.
Okay.
Here we go. Because we basically, we decided, like, hey, let's just let Patty just lean to maximum bitchery and make it useful.
Is.
Or rapport. Okay, so spend a fate point on a successful provoke. Give a +2 to fellow players' deceit or rapport.
Yep.
Okay, so then gear 1, 2 cybernetic eyes. Gear 2, defibrillator / stun hands. Or hand. I have hand. Is it? But we've described it as both hands. So
yeah, it's both hands. I'll switch it to hands.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Hands.
Yeah, because basically she usually just rubs them together and then.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the requirement for activation is rubbing them together, or probably just having them contact each other on some level.
Okay, and I will figure out that spread later. Boom. All right. That's that done. Well, the sheets are updated. When Karina gets back, we will bitch squared. Yeah, right, Karen, like you're harmless. Fucking
What are you talking?
Wink.
Okay, let's just keep this in mind. Karen has probably intentionally killed more people than Patty.
Yeah, probably.
Intentionally. Emphasis on the intentionally.
Probably accidentally as well.
No comment.
I think we could probably just say Karen's killed more people.
Karen has the highest body count out of all of us, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So,
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, milestones are done. Character upgrades are done outside of somebody who's going to have an intensely inconvenient upgrade, and I've yet to figure out how. Maybe a limited upgrade. Maybe fucking, depending on how many days go by, points will be lost, abilities will be, fall off the, that sort of thing. We'll see how that works.
I don't know where I put it.
Yeah, I know.
So it's minor and significant.
My bad.
And do you say major as well?
No, you guys haven't hit a major milestone yet. That's just
Understood.
That's
Okay.
just me saying that, like, this is how it works. These are, yeah, those are the 3 levels. Major, if you're curious.
I am.
So you get the minor milestones, you get the significant milestones. So everything you've just done, you get to do over again. And then all of what I'm about to say. All right? If you have an extreme consequence, remember we've talked about this, that there's the possibility of, like, bargaining for an extreme consequence, right? That it's sort of the lifetime of the character situation, right? That you will be saddled with this for a very, very long time. If you have an extreme consequence, you can rename it to reflect that you've moved past most of its debilitating effects. This will allow you to take a new extreme consequence in the future. You can then also take an additional point of refresh, which allows you to immediately buy a new stunt or keep it in order to get yourself more fate points at the beginning of a session. So you have 3 refresh right now. You could get 4 refresh, or you could just say, I'm having 4 stunts. Or you could spend everything down to one fate point if you wanted, and have, by that point, have 6 stunts.
Actually, that just reminds me of something. Does your sheet say 3 cyber heart charges or 4 cyber heart charges on me? I think we actually may have gone with 4 for me.
I think... Oh, no, wrong sheet entirely. I would have to actually check your... There we go. No, I have 3.
All right, keeping it there. But I'm assuming at a major, that's something I could upgrade.
We could talk about it's narratively done sort of situation. Like if you raided an Uradella warehouse and got away with some loot, that could possibly be in the loot, and then if you got it installed, that sort of thing, right?
Understood.
Yes. Though we will have to revisit
burglary skill at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So refresh. You get so you extreme consequence bargain. You get an additional point of refresh at major. You get to advance a skill beyond the campaign's current skill cap. So who's
at what level we were at, I could just be like, cool, I have a +5 to craft now.
correct?
And it's
Okay.
scary.
Yes. So you can break the game's skill cap at major milestones.
Hi, I'm a god in this skill.
And then you can then, and here you go, kids. This is the one I think a few of you are lusting after. The final thing that you can do at a major milestone. You can rename your character's high concept.
Ah.
Karen's like, I'm happy being me.
Yeah, why would I need to change?
I feel like when I wrote the high concept, it was intended to be changed, and now looking at it, no, it's not. It's
Yeah.
going to ride all the way to the end.
So, yeah. So you absolutely, major, you get to do all of that. That's not an or situation. Everything I just said, you get to do at a major, plus you get points to spend. And the next significant milestone we hit, because the pyramid balances out, basically I'm doing I'm not making you keep you build a pyramid. Like it's 1 4, 2 3s, 3 2s, and 4 1s. You can't build out 2 4s because the pyramid falls down. So you see how that works. So what I'm doing is I'm milestoning you and not making you build the fucking pyramid physically for yourself. So the next significant milestone you get, what you'll be able to do, or the next milestone you get, you'll be able to do 2 4s because you'll have 3s to support them potentially. People who have 2 3s or 2 3s can pull that off or more. So the next one you get, you'll be able to spend it on a 4. You'll be able to move one of those 3s up to a 4.
Yeah, like you, Karina.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll fix it. We'll work on it. Not this time, but we'll balance it. But so the next time you get that, you'll be able to push a 3 up to a 4.
Well, it's good to know that I have my pyramid in order.
Good. So yeah, that's sort of what's going on there. But like, yeah, the major, you get everything. You get the minor, you get the option of the minor, so you get a point to spend or rename something. You get then the significant, you get another point that you can put higher up on the skill chart, and then you get all of the major stuff. But you guys haven't hit a major milestone yet. So that's not worth even doing.
It's going to be a while before we get there.
Yeah.
Does the stone on the highway count as I'm driving?
No, it does not. I'm sorry. Yeah. No.
Man.
No.
What, you're saying Krill getting aroused by giant plasma cannons didn't deserve a major milestone? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it does, but a different kind.
You're such an unfair GM, Kai.
I found out he was a ship sexual.
I know, right? And we are so like the way we are running this campaign, most people are we're running along arc. Like I warned everybody going into this in case anybody's wondering about my pacing and how everything is playing out. Everybody who joined this game was warned that they were in for a long haul campaign, that nothing in this was going to be the sort of like one shot, quick shot, 20 session, we're done sort of situation. And so like, if you look at like the core guidelines, like the milestoning, they're like, I won't find out, the end of every 2 sessions. It's like, no.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. It's that's for a campaign that's over in a flash, right? If you're running a massive campaign, it's like, dude, we would break the ladder in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, if you're doing it every 2 sessions, you are in a dungeon crawl campaign where everything's on rails and it's all action packed and you're getting to this beat, that beat, this beat, that beat.
I'm sorry. I need my like twice per session angst and hijinks. Okay.
I like to think that we're living up to the actual intentions behind the system, right? It's like, look, it's a bunch of theater nerd shit. Stop it. We'll figure out when the chapter ends ourselves or when the act comes to a close.
I'm just saying is like, I'm like, yes, I am in the long haul of Patty, but I'm also like, I'm building season 3. I'm like starting to form the concepts of it.
And like go ahead.
Someone watching will get to see this. Just because we're the kind of people we are, we shoot ideas all the time, we talk about our characters. Literally the other day when I was having a bad moment, Wordy here was such a lovely dinner. I was like, just write out your ideas. We think about each other's characters as much as our own. It is a sprawling process, and just coming up with some of the most fun. I'd love it if we could become those badasses.
Okay.
Not our characters now.
I'm not gonna lie, Karina, I'm genuinely considering the idea you gave for Patty. Like, oh god, that would be so fucking cool.
To be fair, I genuinely pay attention to what people kind of look like, the direction they're going, and that's where that writing came from.
That's fair. I'm just like, that's an idea I hadn't even thought of. I'm like, holy shit.
The most out there idea I think I had was Karen being a head popper. Just,
I could see it.
I mean, like I said, I've got 2 campaigns for your characters if you want them. Like that's the option. When we hit the end of this campaign, some of your characters will not make it through this campaign. Just straight up. Like the way the things are happening in the story that's telling. I'm not saying they're going to die necessarily. I'm just saying that the story will be told. Right? And it's just a matter of like, why are you dragging that character? Like, stop beating a dead horse sort of situation, right? You're going to want to let that go. But some of your characters, absolutely, you may at that moment decide like, yeah, I'm taking this one into campaign 2. Like, I want
like Krill is going to be in a fucking in orbit prison by the end of this fucking game.
Kai, I'm just going to tell you like this, is I like playing characters who have a tendency to get themselves killed, okay?
You don't say.
Like,
You don't fucking say.
okay, like, here's like the best example is I played a human in a vampire campaign where basically he ran a library for the worst kinds of vampires, the Sabbat Aspen, and he was basically, hi, I'm a medium, I can see ghosts. You want to talk about ghosts? And he doesn't realize all the people around him are vampires, and somehow he survives. The whole goal was to get him killed eventually, but he somehow survived.
Yeah, well.
Because you're playing into it too hard, the narrative will turn it on your ass.
Yeah. So, yeah, the ideal plan for me as a GM is I will run 2 more campaigns in Influx. This and then another. And then what I would really love is to see one of you pick up the mantle, and given the open structure I've created for this, you absolutely could take one of the precursor worlds. You could take another for this sort of situation. Like, there's a lot of options to play with, and I would love to sit at somebody's table for once. But
you say the precursor.
You know I'm itching. You know I'm itching.
Yes, Caboose, one of your alien world games that you want to play could easily be one of the precursor races that contributed technology to the artifact. Yes.
That would be so cool.
That wasn't what I was thinking of, but now I am.
Yeah.
I have already found a way to convert an old, not old, but just like a universe I was writing into super late influx era. Like way off in the future now.
Yeah, and again, like, there's a trajectory that's been at least now talked about where there's it's easy to do a precursor to this. It's easy to do a prequel, but it's also easy. It should now be apparent where it's headed. After session 20, you should see where it goes as well. And so there's room for that direction just as much as there's room for the other direction. And
anyone who's watching now should be paying attention to when Kai describes advertisements. Sounds like a obtuse thing to mention, but no, there's a lot of fucking world building in those advertisements. Drop real quick.
I still need to go back through each individual session and watch them again just for the notes.
I'm just doing the highlights. I'm having to watch the entirety of the episode. So, I mean, I get to speed it up and skip around a little bit, but I mean, to get those clips of just fucking Caboose randomly going, and Troy plays the tambourine. Fade to black. Right? I blew up somebody's butt. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was great. Fade to black. You know, to get those clips, I have to just watch it. So
what episode is it where Wordy said the word randomly out of nowhere?
Oh, I don't know. We're not there yet.
Milkshake.
Milkshake or whatever.
Milkshake.
Yeah, that's not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. But yeah. Yeah.
I really hope those highlights are like, because when I watch them, I go, now I want to watch the rest of the episode. I really hope anyone who was just coming in feels the same.
I mean, I'd hope so as well, but also, okay, so a little bit of business as well. So Caboose, you want to start engaging in the economy more, it seems like.
Yep. That was the big part of the aspect.
Yeah, because that's what that's what it's called. It's called the fate point economy. I have as many fate points. It depends. It's fate points allocated for the players that are at the table, basically. And so the number that the GM usually gets allocated is based on the number of people sitting at the table. But like, it is an economy, and so if nobody participates in the economy withers and dies. And so there's no point. You notice that, like, you know, last sessions, like, there's no point for me. Like, I'll give an advantage roll or a disadvantage roll, that sort of thing. But there's no point in me offering fate points, ultimately, because there's no utilization of them. So it's not like, you know, what's the incentive for me offering one if you have a pile of them in front of you already? It's like offering $10 to a billionaire. And, like, you know, what's the reason? But if you're going to start engaging in the fate point economy, then yeah, which is hilarious because I've built NPCs that are fate point spenders, and you fuckers still like are reticent to use your fate points. It's like I'm spending them against you.
It's weird.
After reading through the rules, I think there's some potential for a lot of fun, both narrative and mechanically.
It's a matter of like. It's called fate. You can bend fate to your will. I mean, there's no guarantee, but
I'll be real. My concept originally being your tech likes me better, specifically your tech, stifled me because my character ended up working with their own tech 9 out of 10 times.
Fair enough.
So I think our problem is we go through waves. We go through like nothing, and then we are like, oh yeah, we have those things that we just like, and then we just go through nothing, and we need to like start more evening it out.
This is why in real world play, the coins that you have developed PTSD about, the sound of the ringing of the flipped coin.
You should have a kink now.
See, it scares me. Turns on wordy.
These are actually your fate points if you sit at my table and play. So they're physical objects that get traded back and forth and sit in front of you. So what I would recommend, if you really want a reminder, get 3 bottle caps, 3 coins, 3 something, because that's how many fate points you have at the beginning of every session, and put them in front of you. Put your physical reminder out that you have 3 fate points to spend.
That's a good move.
Because
really wish I had my 3D printer now again.
Yeah, because that's what, you know. Yeah, when we do an in-world game, it's just a matter IRL game. I have a bag of those they're just feng shui coins. They absolutely. Yeah, you sit there, you clack them back and forth in your hand, and you're like, oh, I got money to spend. Right? Yeah, and it keeps that economy going. But in the digital realm, you don't keep track of them. And so, yeah, if some sort of 3 physical objects in front of you as representation, and then, you know, take one away when you spend it sort of situation, then you'll engage in it more. Again, all of this goes for the other people. It doesn't go for Karen, because Aspen's playing Karen in a different way. Like, that's, and you know,
she's already bending fate to her will.
Well, that's, again, there's 2 ways to play fate, and there's a billion ways. There's an infinite amount of ways to play fate, but fundamentally speaking, when it comes to the mechanics of fate, there's a couple episodes where you can see me ask Aspen on screen, do you just want to do this conversationally, or would you like to roll mechanics? And after the second time that Aspen told me, no, just do it in dialogue, I stopped asking, because you only have to be reminded once as far as I'm concerned. Right. And so any sort of like what most people would consider to be a roll, right? Some sort of like deception, empathy sort of check situation, like, ooh, can I deceive the character? It's a matter of Aspen just conversationally deceiving the character at that point. There is no role attached to that. It's all RP clad. And so then the mechanic systems like lore, investigate or notice, you'll see Aspen still does rolls on, but beyond that, like the sort of stuff that Karen is good at, the grifter stuff, right? Aspen just does the conversation. And so it's just a lot easier that way for that character, right? But like then there's the roll for a thing way, which Fate shies away from, which is why I play Fate. But it's perfectly capable of doing it. But yeah, that's just sort of how that plays out. I think also from here, you guys are going to have some readjustments. There's going to definitely be some interesting scenes coming up. Patty with while it was a brief flings have been known to launch ships across oceans in human history. And so Patty's dealing with the loss of Jacob. And so that's going to be formative for her character situation. And then, there's the causal ripple in the group as Patty attempts to deal with that. Karen's got agendas. Karen's got things on her to-do list, as it were. Krill's got a seismic shift in her world, her body, her life, her existence.
As a trans woman, it's not going to be fun bringing that much dysphoria to the table, but god damn it, it is going to be thematic.
Should be genuine.
Yeah. I think Troy, there is one thing that I have you watched any of the highlights, Caboose?
I watched the first one.
Okay. I think it gets explained in the fourth one, maybe. It was the one I just did, I think. Fourth one, yeah.
That's the last one you did.
Yeah. That's the okay. So I think it gets explained in the fourth one. There is something you have fundamentally forgot about your character's capabilities, I think.
Oh.
And you seem to have lost it somewhere, and I've not reminded you. So this is the best you're going to get out of me. But like, yeah, I think at this sort of impasse, at this sort of table moment, there is a fundamental capability that you have sort of neglected. And I think it's best to remind you. And so session 4 goes into that in depth.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah. Because you are focused on one thing, and there is possibility. So, no. The person who just guessed that, no. That is.
I saw you, Karina.
So no, that is not it. But like, yeah, there is a very real capability that has been there since like demonstrated in 1 all the way through, but 4 we talk about explicitly. And that like, yeah, you may want to revisit, for sure. Beyond that, milestones are done, character aspects and sheets are upgraded. Is there anything else anybody wanted to talk about while we're still recording?
Not really.
No.
Cool. Well, in that case, if you happen to watch this, hope you learned something about the game. Either way, catch y'all later.